Exchange page in Wednesday's Star Tribune said, the inescapable conclusion, Americans hate Muslims. Ahmed Tharwat was the author of an article. He's a Minnesotan, and he had some really interesting things to say. I'm not going to read it all, but I'll give you a line or two. He said, the American intifada against the so-called Ground Zero Mosque has been shaped mainly by an irrational anti-Islamic movement. Ahmed, this is John Williams. You're on WCCO Radio. How are you?
Very well. Glad to be with you, John. Big fan.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I was with you at the State Fair. It's my favorite place.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
And this is Ramadan. That's why we're not there. You're not going to find a Muslim in your audience. They're all fasting and they can't eat that pizza. I'm telling you that.
Well, especially if it had sausage on there.
Yeah, I know you guys. I thought you guys were trying to dump me here before you talked to me and bringing sausages on Ramadan. But that's fine. That's great.
How does that work for you, Ahmed? So at Ramadan, you fast during the day, but you eat in the evening, right after the sun goes down?
Yeah, the sun, from day. It's a day fasting. Sunrise, the sunsets, and coming in August, that's a very harsh treatment of the Muslim. Maybe that's why they are angry too.
Well, now you're the one that wrote the article. Do you take any of this back? I mean, it was pretty strident what you said there at a time where Muslims are trying to, I think, win favor of the rest of America. I wonder if this is the right tack to take.
Well, I was a little bit reluctant for quite some time, but with the media hype and all the misinformation about Islam, I think this is the Rosa Parks moment. Somebody has to take a stand and talk about it. And I think a lot of misinformation is going on, and American people are just victims of all of this. And,
you think this is like that? This is a Rosa Parks moment?
I think, on a personal level, I don't care one way or another if we have mosque in Manhattan or even we have mosque in Minneapolis. I mean, I don't have to go to a mosque to pray. But I think for the American people, and I don't know what that trend, if we're going to invade a Muslim country every 5-10 years, I think we should know a little bit about Islam and Muslims. Why do I have to answer for every idiot out of this 1.5 billion that misbehave everywhere? I don't question Americans when their leaders invade country and destroy cities and destroy buildings and destroy mosques. I don't believe. I was in Egypt the last January, and I asked my cab driver, why do you hate Americans?
What did he say?
And he said, we don't hate America, we hate Bush, and Bush was gone a year. So they differentiate between American people and the government, and the government are elected by the American people, but they give them a pass on that. But the American people, they question us for every idiot, every criminal that we didn't elect that doesn't represent Islam, hijacked Islam.
Well, what's your answer your question? Why do they? Why do they hold you as a person, as a Muslim up for, I presume you're talking about the actions of the couple of dozen on 9/11.
I really need to ask on that. And I think this is some of this adolescent culture that the people, we can do this, but you can't do the same. If you're going to question me about what any Muslim does, why shouldn't I question you for every American?
You're calling that adolescent behavior the reaction of Americans to Muslim Americans?
I think it's not just Muslim Americans. They've done it with the blacks. They've done it with the Hispanic. They've done it even somehow. There's some few does something. They condemn the culture when individuals that they want to demonize does something. But when their own individuals, like Timothy McVeigh or Ku Klux Klan, they don't condemn the culture of Christianity or West, whatever. But when a few Muslims, criminals make a mistake, they condemn the whole culture. When a few Mexicans break the law in the South, they condemn the whole culture. And I don't know where that is from. It's been going on for long.
Well, one of two things have happened, I think. They either don't understand your faith and the culture that goes with it, or they have some knowledge about your faith and they think that you're being dishonest about it. You're not telling us the whole picture. You're not revealing to us that there is a agenda and it's domination, or at least it's repression of the rest of the people in this country.
I'm not responsible for what the Muslim agenda is. You guys, you know everything. You are the one who who's supporting the most oppressive Muslim leader in the world, from Mubarak to Saudis to monarchy everywhere. I mean, it's amazing that you're telling me that we have an agenda when the guys you are actually doing the agenda. Even our agenda maybe just an idea and a concept.
Do you think that the organization that's handing out the Quran here at the fair is a good idea?
The what?
They're handing out the Quran as well as little laminated cards that describe what Islam is at the fair. I'm wondering if you think that's a good idea, a good approach right now.
Well, it's a fair mentality, state fair mentality. Why don't you just have a mosque on a stick? What the? That's a kind of.
That would be.
That would be nice. I mean,
that would be nice. Have the mosque on a stick.
Yeah, I think that's how you approach the Americans. Just have a mosque on a stick or whatever.
So,
and the Quran, what would you do with the Quran? I think the most beautiful thing about the Quran is to listen to it. Because first of all, you're not going to understand Arabic. Second of all, if it's translated, it's horrible. So I advise any American who wants to get to know Islam, just listen to the Quran and listen to the deep music to it, and go from there.
Ahmed, you and I have not met, so pardon my ignorance. Probably most people listening to you and I know more about you than I do. You're from where? You're a United States citizen? How long have you been in the U.S., that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've been in the United States for 30 years. I'm originally born in Egypt. And one of the biggest issues in Egypt now is building a church. This is ironic. I came from Egypt where people are fighting over a church to be built because they hear all this. And now we come back here and there is a mosque being built. It's just the same mentality of, kind of we are right and you are wrong and everything is an assault on our beliefs. And it's amazing. And as I mentioned in the article, how you can turn a secular place to a sacred one. And a sacred
Are you surprised by this, Ahmed? I mean,
no, to be honest with you, I'm not.
You've lived in America a long time. You must have seen this coming.
No, to be honest, I've done a show about it. It's going to be aired this Saturday if I can promote my own here. This Saturday, I've done a show about it, and I talked to people from New York, and they said most of the Hopla Intifada is the people who live out of New York, and most of the people in Manhattan, they are supportive of it. And it just that tells you those opinions and those shaped by the media hype.
Well, no, wait a minute. You say most people in Manhattan support the mosque?
Yes.
Most people in America don't.
Yes.
And that's a.
Where is the relationship between that Islamic Culture Center and 9/11?
You really want me to explain that to you?
Well, if you have the time. I know the obvious.
It's a short answer. Come on, Ahmed. All right, let me do this.
Yeah.
I have to pause for a second and play some commercials. I want you to stay right there, and we'll pick up the conversation in a minute.
You got the pizza, huh?
I want to be on your show sometime, Ahmed. You're smart and you crack me up.
You're welcome anytime, John. Honestly, I think we have a role here to play. And
I do too.
Do you think I need to get people against me? But I think, if I'm hiding, I'll be hiding for the Muslim because of this.
I understand, but really, look, okay, fine. We'll pick it up here in just a minute. Ahmed, and by the way, Ahmed, how do I say your last name? Is it Tharwat?
Yes.
Stay right there. John Williams on WCCO 989-9226 if you want to join the conversation. Ahmed Tharwat's on the phone. I'll read the byline in the paper the other day. He hosts the Arab American show Belahdan, which airs at 10:30 Saturdays on Twin Cities Public Television, and he blogs at now you got to do it for me. Is it Ahmedia? AHMEDIA TV.com. His piece in
media. It's not clever.
His piece in the Star Tribune the other day, I think, makes the mistake. Here's my free advice to you, Ahmed, because I think you've got two things. You've got constitutional, logical, or rational rights, but I also think you're fighting a PR campaign, and you need to sort of, how did they say it? You attract more flies with honey. You actually, if you tell people they're adolescent or they're wrong, then they'll naturally be resistant to that message. I don't know that you're playing it right. That was my advice to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think we've been playing this for 10 years, John, and I think what I'm thinking, even the headline of the piece, which I have no control
You didn't
over.
write, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not my...
It says Americans hate Muslims, and I think Americans...
No, that's not, you know as well as I do, that's not my headline, and this is what the editorial board choose to have that headline, and that's part of the American hype. Nothing in that piece tells us that that's my main focus point, that America hate Muslim. And America might hate mosque. They never been in one. And the whole idea is maybe also part of our Muslim community. They are, they're just hiding and that they are not out there getting involved with the community. And I think the whole idea of this Islamic culture center in Lower Manhattan, also they made the PR mistake. They didn't really prepare for it and get involved with the community and try to show them what the intention. This is for healing, not for victory, like Newt Gingrich say. This is that,
Yeah, talk about that. That's